introduce yourself.
Okay.
Talk about like what you do here at SpyHop.
So my name is Matt Mateus. I am the deputy director here, and I've had several former titles. So I do a lot of things that have to do with programs or the classes that we offer here. Before that I was the program director. Before that I was an educator. So I taught audio recording.
And how long have you been at SpyHop?
So I have been here 16 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, long time.
Yeah.
We're this is our 20th year now. So actually, technically, I'm in my 17th year because I started in 2002. So, and that's and SpyHop started in '99.
When you first got here, like, how does it contrast from now? Just like how SpyHop is.
So this is since I've been with SpyHop, this is our third space. Mm-hmm. And prior to SpyHop, like when I joined, I think we had two before that. So we've moved around quite a bit. We've always been downtown, and we have always been sort of in a what we think of as kind of a neutral area. So downtown being like not too far west, not too far east. And we've always been sort of in urban areas. When I first started, there were probably 6 employees, and we just hired our 23rd employee that'll start on Monday. So we're building desks right now. That's where I was. We're adding on and adding on. You can't see this in the film here, but these pictures are of our new building it's right on the corner of 9th South and 2nd West, right where the track stop is.
That's cool.
Yeah, so we're building a new space. So, I mean, we just continue to grow, and I attribute that to the need in the community, mm-hmm. To young people, teenagers, being engaged and wanting to learn how to make films and learn how to record music or make beats or be on the radio, learn how to make video games. That's what we do. We're hands-on learning. We're hands-on, developing professional skills so that they can go out and do that or pursue it in higher education.
Cool. So to go back a second.
Yeah.
So what made you want to join SpyHop?
That's a funny story because I didn't want to join SpyHop. I never applied for SpyHop. I never applied to work here. I was a recording engineer. In 2002, I just moved back from New York City, and I started a recording studio, and I was pretty happy doing that. And I met the guys that founded SpyHop, and they gave me a tour of the facility. It was really small. They didn't have any music or recording programs then, and somebody had donated some recording equipment, and they asked if I knew how to use it and put it together for them, and I helped them do that. And one thing led to another, and they asked me to teach, and I said no, because I didn't want to teach.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to teach, and I didn't know if I would like it, and so I wasn't interested. And they asked me a couple more times, and eventually I caved in, and I taught one class. And I loved it, and I still keep in touch with my very first students that I ever had. In fact, one of my students is the audio instructor here now, and he's almost 30, and I knew him when he was 15. And my very first student actually just started a massive recording studio in town here, and he's way better at it than I am now, which is that's super cool, and I'm excited about that. So I ended up teaching for about 6 or 7 years. I think 7 years.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, but that's not like I wasn't like I'm going to get a job working for a nonprofit. I didn't know anything about nonprofits,
mm-hmm.
And I had a whole different kind of goal in mind for my life, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I love doing what I do. So the mission, and I'll not recite it word for word, but it's essentially what we're here to do is to mentor young people, mm-hmm. in the digital media arts, right? So in all these various forms that keep coming out. So when something new like VR comes out or something, we want to do that. We want to help youth and teenagers understand how that works and how it applies to their life. But the second piece to that is, so once we mentor young people in the digital media arts, we want to help them find their own voices and tell their own stories. So it's not about coming in and saying, you need to make this film or you need to do this. It's like you need to tell your own story, like what's going on in your life. And then the final piece to our mission is really about empowering you all, mm-hmm. to affect positive change in your own communities, right? In your worlds, and you know, so that's like a really critical piece, and that means informing the communities and creating an audience for you to be able to say, hey, check out my film, and I want to talk about this thing. I want to talk about what's going on in my community. I want to talk about politics. I want to talk about, you know, like how I feel about, you know, taking over the world at some point. So, and we need, as adults, we need to take you guys seriously because you have really important things to say. And so this is a space for that to happen, and our mission supports that. And we, I mean, all of us here are super guided by the mission, and you know, that helps kind of determine what programs we're offering and how we offer those, and how we interact with you know, teens in the space here.
So you weren't at Spy Hop from the very inception, but do you think like that mission was there from the beginning, or?
I mean, yeah, the mission, we've tweaked the mission over the years. You kind of have to, just because it's, you know, things evolve. But the kind of kernel of that main idea is still there.
Yeah. We
We realized that youth, and you can kind of take that for whatever age range you want to consider, but youth are more engaged in learning and more engaged in their communities and more engaged in general when they enjoy the thing that they're doing, right? So right now we have a recording program happening. It's an open mic program, so you can get in and get recorded in the studio for free, any teenager in the Valley, every Friday from 3 to 7 p.m. And it's all their thing, right? That's a really great way to like practice your writing and do, you know, like do all these things that you want to do, not like and you're not getting graded, it's not an assignment. And I think that encourages people to think about their literacy and think about how important it is to be able to communicate and to tell their own stories. And so that's what it was founded on, is being able to give voice to youth, and I think it's still there. Now the names sometimes change and the language of our mission will evolve over time and it'll continue to evolve, but that truth is still there.
How much success do you think you've had in like fulfilling that mission?
So, as I said earlier, like my role is to think about all the programs and the secondary pieces of those programs. You know, making sure we have all of the resources and things